do have some more stories from Mr. Crossbow, of course, because another question was asked of him. It was basically, if there's a plane crash, a big plane crash, and it landed on a border, like the bodies all on the border, where would they bury the bodies? Now this stumped him at first. He was like, well, it's just you should build planes properly. Like,
I wonder if it's okay
no,
to drink this.
plane crashes happen. No, answer the question that's been posed to you. He's not good with hypotheticals, let's put it like this. He tries to think about what caused the crash. It's like, no, the crash has happened. It doesn't matter why the crash happened. It's like, well, there'll be an investigation. Like, yeah, but what about the bodies? What would happen to the bodies? Yeah, but his eventual answer basically boiled down to they'd bury them there, at the border. It's like, so they wouldn't actually send them back to the country they're from. It's like, no, they don't do that. It's like, well, they do. That's what happens. They don't leave them in the country they came, like they're actually in. The bodies are in.
Let's do our best.
It was like, he couldn't understand that little concept. And I was like, well, you can't just bury the bodies there. It's like, well, if they landed on the border between, I can't remember the name of the two countries just then. I was like, that was very odd. Between USA and Mexico, there'll be a big wall there soon. It was like, well, there probably won't be actually. It's gonna cost. It's gonna cost a lot of money, and I don't think it's actually going to happen. So, you know. It's like, well, if there is, they could make it like a memorial wall to the people who died in that plane crash. It's like, right. Or they could just send the bodies back to the country they came from. The odd thing came from that. This is where, that was normal. That was part of the conversation that you'd expect, where he's talking about like what they do with the bodies, etc., etc. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. But, and this is the big but. It's, oh dear. It's typical Mr. Crossbow. Typical Mr. Crossbow. He then just randomly said, did you know? Yeah, did we know?
Got it.
That if a man gets kicked in the balls really hard, they could die. It was just boom, boom. That came out of nowhere. It's like, what? I mean, yeah, that very, very rare that can happen, either from like the pain or internal hemorrhaging, that sort of thing. But why did you bring that up? It's like, we were talking about death, weren't we? It's like, yeah, but we were talking about like someone dying in odd circumstances. It's like, well, dying in a plane crash is odd, isn't it? It's like, no, that if you're in a plane crash, that's gonna happen. You're gonna die. Probably. It's most likely you're gonna die. It was just, it was like, right, tell us your story about this person dying from being hit in the balls too hard. Oh dear. It's sort of like, again, we just left it alone, that conversation. We just left it alone for a while, to just let it fester in his mind, that sort of thing. And then he just turned around and was like, hey, you're especially likely to die if you got hit in the balls by a horse. It's like, yeah. I mean, if a horse kicks you in the head, you're probably gonna die. So, you know, I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt regardless. Like, you know, it will hurt if you get kicked in the balls by a horse. Let's put it like that. It's like if anybody gets kicked by a horse, it's gonna hurt. There's a chest over there, I missed it. The TwitGamer is supported by some lovely people over at patreon.com/TheTwitGamer. And I want to use this time to thank you for all the generosity you have shown me.